Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I'll have some theme music or opening music come Monday. I'll spend the weekend. I found some music to open up this discussion every day, so I'll add that. I hope everyone's doing well today. Congratulations! It's been a week. This is the first week, so we have there's 52 weeks in a year. So what is that? 26 weeks. So we're down to 25 weeks left. And those weeks will go by rather quickly, believe it or not. And this 6 months will be over rather quickly. For those of you who want to learn how to trade, you'll be getting started on that in July. Make sure that you do the 2023. And it's important that I remind you to do the 2023 DLTC, excuse me, MasterMind, because that is a prerequisite to learn how to trade. And the reason for that is because that's going to head off any emotional issues that you might have later on down the line. So make sure that you get that before, uh, get that and watch it before July 1st. Uh, don't wait until July and then tell me you want to trade. And then I go back and see that you haven't finished the 2023. All that's going to do is make you upset with me because I'm not going to teach you how to trade. So make sure you get that. And the reason I'm not going to teach you how to trade, once again, is because if you don't do the mastermind from last year, the one it's about sort of the mental psychology of trading, then you're going to struggle, and that struggle isn't worth what you're paying me to teach you how to trade. Let's keep it real. So it's easier just to take that, learn a little bit about your emotional sort of makeup and the emotions that you need to tighten up on before you start trading. Because if you don't, I don't care how much you could be paying me $1,000 a month and it's not worth it to me. So make sure you get that before July so that you can head off your any contempt that you might develop for me when I tell you I'm not going to teach you trading because you didn't do the 2023 mastermind. I want to talk briefly about this last post about Kanye. That post has probably got about 300 uh, views. I put it up an hour ago, and it's already got as many views as most of my stuff gets in a day. So what does that mean? It means that people are tuned into the wrong thing. And I'm going to briefly talk about that for a minute, and then we're going to get back on track here. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about business. Okay. I'm going to break some things down to you and for you so that you'll understand sort of the perspective of making money on social media and wasting your time on social media and why you shouldn't waste your time on social media. I've been on social media now for 10 years, 9 years. I started a business on social media. So I wasn't on social media very long before I saw a need, right? It took me 4 years to make any money with that business because I did everything wrong. I didn't know anything about social media. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to do something and I was willing to learn the hard way. So it took me 4 years to make any money. Uh, People that came in 3 months ago are already making money and haven't lost any money. So it took me 4 years. I was traveling all over the country. I was doing things the hard way because I was new to social media. I was figuring things out on social media. Like I said, I was only on social media 9 months before I started a business. Was it 9 months or no? I came on in January. By December, I started a business. So just over 11 months of being on social media, I had started a business. And for a lot of that time, I was doing everything that everyone else was doing, right? But I was trying to educate people and talk about, things that we might want to consider in our culture, our non-culture, as I like to say, talking about the markets, just talking about getting people to try to think about things differently. So I spent 11 months doing that before I started a business. And a lot of the stuff that you see people post, I was posting stuff like that was all about Black power, and I don't regret any of that. But that was like the theme for the first 9 months. And it drew a lot of attention, right? And I started the Abacus in December of 2014. And even with all of that attention, only 17 people joined the Abacus. In the second month, we're down to 12 people So I learned a lesson. And that lesson was, just because you capture someone's attention doesn't mean it's going to be easy to turn that into a business, uh, turn it into money, into sales. But I kept at it and I kept grinding. And over the years, the Bacchus finally, after 4 years, I started making a little money. And then amazingly, after 2 years of making money, I just kind of stopped going hard at it because I could see that the lack, the apathy in the community, it's horrible. And it's like a negative energy. And I'm a positive person. So even though I was making money, making good money, I just didn't want to be around all that apathy. I didn't want to be around people who just make excuses for everything and just they have that victim mentality. I just don't like being around people like that because I'm a positive person and I'm a person of action. So it took me 4 years to make any money. And then I made money for a couple of years. And then I stopped pushing as hard. I think I stopped pushing as 3 years ago. So I've been doing it for 9 years, 4 years. Let's see, 4 years. So for 3 years, I made money. And then no, for 2 years, I was making some good money. And then I just stopped. I kind of pulled back. I didn't stop. And I would always get like, I would put something out and then people would go crazy about it. And then they get all hyped up. And everything that I was putting out was about building up families, building generational wealth, helping people build relationships. That's what I'm about. That's how I live my life. And after Bitcoin, I was like, man, these folks ain't gonna buy no Bitcoin. And after the fact that so few people were willing to spend $15 to buy the Bitcoin course, which now would have made 50 times their money, almost 50 times their money. So I kept getting these lessons, right? And for a long time I didn't want to listen because I was caught up in my emotions, what I wanted for the community, right? I wanted for the community more than the community wanted for itself. And I knew that because of lack of participation, Bitcoin. And then 2 years ago, I guess, I came down with type 2 diabetes. And within literally a month, I got rid of my diabetes. And then I started a class teaching people how to lose a bunch of weight. And a few people did that. And a lot of people signed up, 100 people. And I was so busy, I had to stop after a week. I said, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to commit to that type of time, but I'll do it for 3 months. And because I wanted some other people to learn and teach, it's called the protocol. I wanted them to do that too. And we have people on this discussion that lost a lot of weight. But that lesson that I learned with protocol was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And what I mean by that, and this is going somewhere, just hang with me. I literally put all of my information online, showing people what my A1C is, and I had high blood pressure, I had metabolic syndrome, I had stage 2 liver disease. So I had all of these physical ailments, and I got rid of all of those. I feel like in a month, but when you have diabetes, you got to go get your A1C checked every 90 days. So within 90 days, I didn't have diabetes anymore. I didn't have liver disease anymore. I didn't have metabolic syndrome. I lost almost 100 pounds. So I was so amped up and I was so excited that I'm going to take this to the community. And man, I'm going to show people how to lose some weight so that they can live longer. And the lack of interest in that, the apathetic response from that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I had already peeled back. But that was the straw that really broke the camel's back and showed me how hooked people were to the matrix, that they would rather die, literally die. Oh boy, I hope they let me put this video up because I said the word die. They would rather die than to lose weight. So that was like an eye opener for me, that people were so apathetic that they were willing to not do anything about their health. And in our weight loss system, you can eat whatever. There's no restrictions. But people were so apathetic and so conditioned and brainwashed that they weren't even interested in spending $1 to learn how to cure themselves of diabetes. They weren't even willing to spend $1 to get the knowledge to help their parents or their wives or their husbands. So that was a real eye opener for me. And that was a couple of years ago. And that's when I kind of told myself, man, listen, I know, this is what I'm talking to myself. I know what you want to do. I know you want to help people. I know you're on that money thing. I know you've helped free a lot of people. But listen, you're kind of pissing in the wind, right? And that for me was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And then I never did the protocol after that. I only did the protocol one time. I only did Bitcoin one time. That's it. Bitcoin was in 2017. The protocol was 2 years ago this year. So I keep learning these lessons on social media. And social media, like I said the other day, is a microcosm of the community. And it's real. Probably the best sort of insight into the community you can find on social media, because there's so many of us on social media. But year after year after year, I was always reminded of how apathetic people are and how difficult it is to get people to do better for themselves. And it's not about the money. If it was about the money, I would have kept doing the protocol, because I made like $20,000 in 6 days. If it was about Bitcoin, I would have kept doing Bitcoin, teaching. So you can see a pattern. I don't like to do things strictly for the money, because I like to build systems. And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is so that I can show you that most of the people that you interact with on social media aren't going to do anything. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. They're going to be doing the same thing in 5 years that they're doing today. It'll be something else here in another week. It won't be Cat Williams. It'll be something else. And and I've tracked the distractions, the major distractions. We have over 70 major distractions in 1 year. I'm talking about major distractions that has the whole internet on fire. That's more than one distraction a week. And that Cat Williams post I just put up, I literally had to turn my notifications off. That's how many people are commenting on it. That's how many interactions it's getting. So our focus isn't where it should be at all. And you need to understand that if you're on social media, you better be there on social media with a focus and with intention, because you're interacting with people that are so stuck in the matrix that they're going to be in that matrix for the rest of their lives. And my last post, is it worth going through millions of people to find 1,000? It is. But that's how many people you're going to have to go through to find people who are serious about changing their lives, people who are worthy of your time. Remember, everything I do on social media has a purpose, has an intention. In November and December of last year, when I knew I was going to do the mastermind, in December, I had over 300,000 views on my page in 1 month. In November, when I started pitching it, I had close to 300,000. So I had 100, what is that? 300, that's over 500,000 people saw my page, my post from November to December, 2 months. And remember, I do things with a purpose. So I spent a total, I didn't spend much money on ads, maybe $100 for both months, right? And it still got over 500,000 views, my page, my post. And I signed up a total of 136 people to this mastermind, right? Now, I wrote the numbers down. I can't believe I forgot, I lost the numbers already, but I'm going to give you some rough numbers. Out of 136 people, I put 40 of those people were put in by other people. And every time they put people in, they make money too. So I put in a total of 96 people into this year's mastermind. Last year, I put 250 in, and nobody else put them in last year. So I put less than half of what I put in last year, a total of 96. I went through over 500,000 people to find 96 people. Less than that, because about 20 people I already knew. So I went through 500,000 people to get what, 70 people to sign up for the mastermind? Was it worth it? Yes. Do the math, right? Do the math on it. But that's what social media is about. It's about numbers. It's about numbers. I've been very transparent. Out of the 136 people, we can realistically expect at least half of those people to finish. So we can expect 65 people to finish. It took over 500,000 views for me to get 96 people, really about 76 people, because I already knew 20 people. Out of those 70 people, maybe 35 of them will finish, right? I'd be there at the end. This is a game of attrition. This is a game of numbers. And if you don't get yourself together, and if you don't understand social media, and if you don't understand business, how to make money on social media, or even the intention to make money on social media, you're going to be just like the other 2 billion people on social media who are so distracted, spending years of their lives on social media, not making a penny, not one penny. So this is social media. This is the attention economy. This is business. This is business. So when you're on social media, look at people, look at their actions, look at what gets them excited. Look at what they like to comment on. Look at what they're speaking on. Look at what they're quoting. Not a single person quoted Cat Williams when he said he ties back. I've been doing that for years, but I actually said it last week. And then Cat Williams came on and said it. He does the same thing. I've been telling people for years, the way to move ahead is to help other people, to give back. I've been saying that for 10 years. Rich people come on, celebrities come on. They say the same thing, the exact same thing. I know some of y'all be watching these people say, damn, that's what Mr. T's always talking about. Rich celebrities will come on and drop gems, the same gems that I drop, but they'll come on, have more exposure, say the exact same thing. I tie to my people. Nobody seemed to heard that because they certainly didn't post on it. They caught up in what he said about Cat Williams. They're making little cute memes about that other skinny comedian always wearing a dress. They talking about everything but what's important. Gems, how to get forward, how to get rich. They're talking about Steve Harvey's hair, he looks like a potato. They're saying everything that doesn't move them forward. That's what people are concentrating. Kanye West came on and said, I can't even spend money because last year on Drink Champs, because it's about relationships. I've built up relationships where people loan me their planes to go to France to stay in their villa for weeks, and they won't let me give them any money. And not a single person has said that other than myself that I've seen in my news feed. So what you're dealing with, you're in a sea of distracted people on social media. Just a sea of distraction. And if you're not understanding what's going on, you're out there with them. And that's where you will probably stay for the rest of your life. And when I say that, I mean that. All these people out here commenting, 98% of them have a job. 98% of them. About probably, who knows how many millions of them are at work right now commenting when they should have their ass working. They trying to sneak in some stuff about Kanye, or not Kanye, but Cat Williams, keeping up. They should be taking that same energy and figuring out, how do I get free? How do I get free? Why am I so concerned with Steve Harvey and Cat? These are rich people talking about rich people. I had a young lady tell me the other day, I don't think she's on, this was 3 years ago. Someone attacked me. They were attacking me. They just make up all kinds of things, just like Cat Williams. And I said, are you rich? She says, no. I said, then you need to stay out of my business. The person I'm arguing with is rich. I do okay. So why are you all up in my business? You need to get rich, and then you can enter this conversation. But right now, you should be concentrating on getting your money. But you concentrating on two rich people going at each other. I told her that. Angelique Maria is her name if she's on. I said, why are you so concerned with my business? I was beefing with Leslie. So I put all the players out there for you now. Why are you worried about us? We got paper. You got paper? No. Then why you were so worried about us? See where you messing up? You worried about what my relationship is with Leslie. You need to be worried about your pocket is what you need to be worried about. And she said, you're right, Mr. T. So we see that on social media. We worried about Cat Williams and old boy's relationship. I don't give a damn about Cat Williams' relationship. Cat Williams grew up I grew up in Detroit, but I spent 5 years down in Dayton. We're from the same spot. We almost the same age. Cat Williams, an old man, and got all these young people out here, just working. 98% of them work for somebody else. Captivated. Generations captivated on some old man stuff. Some old rich dudes going at each other. That's people taking your attention. And you can't get that back. And that attention, that's called time. You can't get it back. You will be more, let me see, getting me calm down, getting crazy now. It will be more beneficial for you to concentrate on getting free, to concentrate on learning this mastermind, not worried about all this other stuff. See what I'm saying? So this is the reality. And if you don't break out of that and you don't get it together, I didn't see anybody who took last year's mastermind comment. Wait a minute, I did see some people comment. But most of the people who took last year's mastermind, I haven't seen them post no nonsense in 8 months. Miss Sherelle Reed, Miss Tanisha Cruz, I'll put their names out. They ain't posting no nonsense. Miss Danielle Dowie, I'll put their names out. She's in this group. They had to post on every damn thing. Not after last year's mastermind. They're trying to get themselves together. So you have to understand what happens to you if you don't change your ways. And let me tell you something. People trip. People like to say, oh man, I would have been all right if I'd never met you. No, you wouldn't. You still be driving a truck. Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm happy that you took advantage of what was in front of you, but your life wouldn't have changed. And if you're young, what they've done is they've sold you a sort of a bag of dreams, a bag of hope. And they telling you everything's going to be all right. But the reality is, no, it ain't. You ain't going to do nothing. You're going to do the same thing you're doing right now. And it's going to get much worse. Much worse. But you hoping and dreaming and I would have been, no, you wouldn't. No, you would not. You would have probably lost your job. You'd be out here struggling, worried about how you're going to get to the next dollar. I'm happy that you took advantage of what was in front of you for you and your family, but let's keep it 100. If you wouldn't have done what you needed to do through the abacus, your ass would be out here struggling like 98% of the other people out here struggling. And if you're on this discussion and you're not wealthy yet or rich yet or free yet, if you don't get yourself together, you're going to stay right where you are. And I know it hurts. I know they've been blowing smoke up y'all butts for years, your whole life. But I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You're going to be right where you are and even worse. If you don't get serious about social media, if you don't get serious about mastermind, if you don't get serious about the markets, you're going to be right where you at. And it's going to be even worse. And next year, the year after, Mark Zuckerberg is rich. Facebook is 20 years old today. Well, not today, this year. 20 years old. If you were 10 when you got on social media, you are 30 years old today. And some of y'all been on social media for 15 years and ain't never put a nickel in your pocket from social media. Think about that. And I know that's most of y'all. And I'm not coming down on you. And I got love for you. And I'm trying to help. But I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to be up here blowing no smoke. That feel good. How that feel? That tickles, don't it? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it real with you and let you know so that you can make a decision. And whatever decision you make is the decision that you have to live with. And it's early in the game, which is good. It's the 5th. And next week, it'll be the 9th the next time we meet. No, it won't be. I can't even count. It'll be 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll be the 8th. This month is nearly, next Monday, this month will be damn near halfway over. And then it'll be over. And then we'll be in February. February, the shortest month. You know, that's the month they give us. Always the shortest month. And then February be over. You know, Black History Month go by the fastest because it's the shortest. And then we'll be in March. Well, damn, a quarter of the year already over. Then we go into April. It's Easter. Then we go into June. I'm getting this summer girl, hot daddy bod on. Then it's summer. And then after summer, man, it's time for football. And this will happen for the rest of your life. And you would be checking in at work every day. And I'm not going to get too crazy. I know y'all think I'll be showing favoritism to the ladies, but I'm a man and I want to see other men do right. And what I mean by that, I want to see you take care of your family. I want to see you get free. Teach your kids how to get free. I'm talking to the men out there. You need to be a man. I know you're a man. I know you got something between your legs that people think makes them a man. But do your best to get free so that your kids can see that. And if your kids see that, then they'll want to be free too. And if you have free kids, you're more likely to have free grandchildren. So no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you love your job, I get it. I had a business. I loved my business. I was in the transportation business. I love to drive, but ain't nothing like being free. And I still drive. I was thinking about driving out to Colorado this next week. But I was under the restraints of my business. So men, do everything in your power to get free this year. Wean yourself off of the matrix so that you can instill in your children a sense of independence, so they can be sovereign, so they don't have to check in with nobody, so they can come and go as they please. This is important. It's important for a man. Ladies, respect your man. If he hasn't given you any reason not to respect him, you respect him. All right? Check yourself when you talk to him. And I'm not coming down on the ladies, but check yourself. If you got a man who's taking care of you, you better respect him and support him. And if you're a man with a woman that's taking care of you, you better respect her. Ain't nothing out there that's going to do you better than what she's going to do for you. I'm a man. I get it. But if you don't do this, things are going to be so bad for your kids. It's not funny, but the level of oppression, it's horrible. So this is what I want from men. The same thing that I've spent my whole life making sure that my two boys on. You're not going to be somebody's bitch, period. I don't care what you have to do. I'm not going to allow that. You're going to take control of your own life, whatever comes with that. And that's why you don't see my kids on social media. Because they know I would be all up in that ass. Oh, you got time to be on social media, but you ain't taking care. Oh, you got time to be up here commenting, but my kids are free. But if they weren't, you got time to be up here on social media commenting, but your ass going in there checking in with Charlie every day. But you got all this time to be on social media talking about Cat Williams. Cat Williams free. Steve Harvey free. Cat Williams really free. So you're so concerned with that. Got all this time on social media. Ain't busting no grapes on social media. And taking your ass in to check in with Charlie every day. Boy, I will smack you. So this is how I think. And I want this for other men. I want them to take care of their families. Protect their families. Be ready to take a bullet for their families. But you got to get free, and you got to put that energy into getting free, and then you got to free your family. No matter, I don't have a Disney-esque relationship with my wife. I love my wife, but we don't. This isn't Disney over here. We don't have no theme music. But my wife, we get into little debates and everything else, right? But we still been together. But it was so important for me to free my wife. I couldn't see her going in being under somebody else. I just couldn't see that. I would feel like that slave out there in the fields and massa coming down telling my wife what to do. No, that ain't gonna happen. No, that's not how this works in my world. Now you can't tell my wife nothing, right? You ain't gonna say nothing smart to my wife. I'm gonna smack you. So I want men to take that control, not control over their wives, but control over their family, to not put them into positions where they have to go in and suffer these indignities. Create a business so that you can pass it down to your kids. At least give them the opportunity. You can't do that if you get caught up in all this nonsense on social media. You just can't do it. That time is not well spent. It'll lead you down the wrong road. And you can't concentrate. How are you going to concentrate on the mastermind when you're thinking about Cat Williams? That's attention economy. Distractions, focus. It breaks down your focus. So, I mean, we didn't talk about anything that had to do with today's, what I wanted to talk about, but it's okay because everything we talked about is very, very important. And it's going to be like that for a lot of stuff that we do. We're going to get off the path. We're going to talk about something we didn't plan on talking about. But at the end of 6 months, you're going to have a lot of stuff to look back on and have enough sort of weapons in your utility belt to move forward. Right? And I don't want to talk about the network, but I'll say this. The network, if you do what you're supposed to do, you'll make more money than you've ever made in your life. And all you have to do is be willing to help other people. Cat Williams told you all that. That's all you have to do is be willing to help other people. That's all you got to do. But you got to learn how to trade first. We're not going to put the cart before the horse. But this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And you got to take it seriously. You don't have time to be on social media duking it out. I had someone comment today. I've known this young lady since I started. She's still taking her ass to work. She got all the time in the world to comment on stuff like that, and still taking her ass to work, still complaining about it, still not doing nothing. Don't watch me do all this stuff on social media. Didn't buy no Bitcoin, because you bought enough Bitcoin, she wouldn't be working. Didn't do none of that. And she got the time to talk on leave a comment in on my post. She knows how I am. She knows I'm calculating. She knows, well, Mr. T said something about Cat Williams. I know he trying to do something. She still commented on that. See what I'm saying? So this is what I mean. You just don't have time for that. You got to be focused. And men, I really do. I love men. You know, I love us as men. But we got to get it together, man. We got to get it together. We got to take charge of our families. We can't put our families out there in these positions. It's just not right. You got to take it all the way back to the 1600s. If you got your lady going out there to work, putting in front of all these people, and they be disrespecting her and, taking her clothes off in their minds and get all of that nonsense, and she would rather be at home with the kids, you got to take it all the way back to the 1600s, man. You got to say, what would I do if I was on a plantation? How would I feel about that? Would I let Master's boy come down here and do what he wants to with my old lady or my daughter? Hell no, I'm going to kill this dude when he comes down here. So you have to take it all the way back. And you have to find that energy, that motivation. That'll motivate you. People always talk about, I couldn't be no slave. I say, well, if your ass has a job, you could have been a slave. You would have been the perfect slave, actually. So yeah, you wouldn't have ran. You wouldn't have hit nobody. If you got a job right now, your ass would have been a slave. People hate me when I don't say it because I know it's gonna hurt somebody's feelings. No, you would have been a slave. You would have been taking those whippings. Stop tripping. Your ass would have been getting that whip. Because you don't got no problem going in right now getting that whip. It's just a different type of whip. So you have to have enough pride, men, to say, ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna get my own. I'm gonna get my own. I don't care if sink or swim, baby. Sink or swim. So sometimes you have to take it all the way back. You have to have pride in what your father did, what your mother did, grandfather, the work they put in. If you find that, then you're more likely to put your family in a good position. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to trade today. I'll be going crazy. Didn't talk about nothing except that we were supposed to talk about, but it's all good. I'll render this, put it up, put the notes into it later on this evening. You guys have a great weekend. Go back and review the mastermind. You should know this mastermind frontwards and backwards by the time it's over. I'll put all of those notes in there so that you can use those notes and post them. You don't have to give me credit. Why not start building a business, a mastermind business? Next year, this year, you put somebody in the mastermind, you're going to get 50%. If you become the mastermind, that's how you live your life. If you learn how to trade, that's who you become. Then people get to know you for that. And then they'll seek you out. Dig? But you got to make a decision. Am I going to get serious? Am I going to keep bullshitting on social media? Am I going to train people who I am? Or am I going to sit out here like everybody else and talk about Cat and talk about Steve, both of these Negroes rich, and I'm sitting over here taking my ass in for $20 an hour, and both of them rich? I feel silly. I just feel silly. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll wrap next week. Take care.